Warren said she wanted to see how far someone can go when it comes to posting misleading ads on the site. Facebook has defended itself by pointing to FCC rules that previously forced broadcast stations to run a Trump campaign ad, the critics said spread false information. Facebook saying it's better to let voters, not companies, decide. Here's what's interesting to me about this. So if Warren wanted to make a point about Facebook, the fake news issue has been with actual content, not with ads. Would it have been more effective to have put up just like a normal Facebook post slamming the president, doing something to that effect, and challenging them to figure out what to do with it?
Yes. That's the one-word answer to this. I mean, of course it is. The deeper issue being brought by this whole idea is, if you can put these things out there, what exactly are the constructs? What's the paradigm? What is the actual framework that you need in order to... Because Facebook, in defending itself, was trying to say that we need to give equal time. We need to show equal types of coverage for these things. We have to be balanced about the way we do it.
But also saying if you start to interfere with an advertisement, then you're editorializing, which is a huge problem itself.
Which is you interjecting yourself into that. So all of these points are being made, but there is no way that you can actually remedy that in a certain way without eliminating all of those processes to begin with.
One interesting thing that I've learned in going through all of this, so broadcast networks basically have to air the political campaign ads they are given. Not so much the case with cable. So, for example, when NBCU cable network refused to air a Trump campaign, it could do that if it's not broadcast, but not if you are. So, yes, Facebook has to figure out, and regulators have to figure out exactly what it is, how to classify it, and so forth. But think about that. For the major broadcast stations, you're not allowed to interfere because then you risk editorializing.
I think Elizabeth Warren achieved exactly what she wanted because everybody's talking about it. Kamala Harris tried to do this with Twitter, saying that they should take down President Trump's account because he's spreading misinformation, etc. That didn't really gain as much traction as this did.
Right.
So I think she achieved exactly what she wanted here. We're all talking about it. I don't think the average person knows the difference between a political ad or an actual Facebook post when it comes to what's true and what's false. And I mean, this is about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. It's just shocking to me that it got that far and it's gained this much traction, and it didn't get flagged internally.
I mean, she definitely knows one of her big, maybe bipartisan appeal points here is going after big.
And it just goes to show how, since 2016, the presidential election, Mark Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg, they've all come out saying that we're prioritizing digital security, privacy, trying to monitor the newsfeed, but yet a move like this on behalf of Elizabeth Warren really showcasing how there's a lot of room for improvement on Facebook.
I'll be watching to see if anyone tries it with
We're almost talking more about this than Bernie Sanders putting out this whole, plan to restrict share buybacks and raise corporate taxes back up to whatever. So it shows you this worked, to Kate's point, more effectively than Bernie Sanders putting out a whole plan about how he's going to tackle corporate America.
Because it's just not that surprising. You're just like, another Bernie plan. What's he coming after this time? Next up, it's not getting any better at Sears. The Wall Street Journal says the company will close another 100 Sears and Kmart stores, or nearly a quarter of the 425 locations that former chair and CEO Edward Lampert bought out of bankruptcy. At its peak, this company had more than 2,000 combined locations. But so far, it looks like his bet, guys, just isn't paying off, even in this last kind of sad, desperate chapter.
That's right. And the Journal article basically said that a lot of the items that customers were going in to buy just are no longer stocked on the shelves, including a lot of the hardware items that Sears has long been known for. That's also something that, as a part of this transformation, they wanted to kind of pivot and focus on strictly hardware stores. People can get these Craftsman products that were so long,
exclusive,
solely sold at Sears, basically anywhere now, because that was sold to Stanley Black & Decker. So Sears doesn't have a stronghold on that anymore. And they're also apparently not even stocking the shelves. And a lot of these leases, I believe, were set to expire. And because the stores are no longer profitable, they said, hey, let's just let them go.
And it comes at a time of very strong competition, not just from Amazon, but Best Buy killing it on earnings and expanding its retail footprint. You have Bed Bath & Beyond trying its turnaround strategy, Home Depot as well. So even if Addie Lambert can get Sears back up and running with its smaller store strategy, you got to wonder at what point can it really gain market share when the competitive landscape is just
so I grew up in an environment when Sears and Kmart were like the stores of choice, when it came to my parents and their generation. And you went there specifically for a few different things. exclusively almost, and that was appliances,
Yes.
that was tools, that was like lawnmowers. Those are things that weren't as affected by Amazon. We talk about Amazonification, but those are things that most people don't just buy on Amazon.
They go to Home Depot
You go to
now,
Home Depot,
or-
yes, because so you can't just say that it's Amazonification that killed Sears. This is a long-standing issue of and a little erosion in their business, and it just got bigger and bigger. And those brand names like Kenmore and Craftsman are just not as big a part of that DNA.
There's no scapegoat
And
here.
the stores are run down. Let's be real. I mean, if you're going in and there's nothing on the shelves, that doesn't entice you to try again and go back or try a different Sears or Kmart location either.
The strategy has not played. It has not succeeded. And now they're down to the last dwindling few hundred. It's a shame. Now here's a chain Wall Street does love. It's Planet Fitness, which got an upgrade from Imperial Capital today. Imperial boosted its rating to outperform from inline. Planet Fitness shares have actually sold off about 25% from their high of $81 back in June. But this analyst says fundamentals are strong. The stock should be a core, no pun intended, long-term holding. It's a premium consumer growth stock. It's a best-in-class fitness operator. And this, for me, harks back to the Jefferies analyst who in February said that Planet Fitness has an Amazonian business model with a widening moat, guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. You'll get its subscription-based budget gym. Its fundamental story, its core business really isn't that innovative, but yet analysts still see it as one that has really taken hold, especially amongst middle-class consumers outside of big cities where typically in a city like New York, you have so many options to work out. But if you're in, let's say, Kansas or Oregon, they're not as many.
And it's not
really
that.
works on that.
Have any of you guys been a
keep it.
member at Planet Fitness? I have. I've paid like the $1 initiation, $10 a month, whatever it is. I think I upped it to like the $20 black card, which gives you all kinds of different things.
That's what I was going to say.
It's all in. It is probably, and this is not because I get paid to endorse them, it is probably one of the best values you can get in the world of fitness. And I've been members at other fitness clubs like New York Town Sports. I've been 24-Hour Fitness, Equinox, all those places. If you were looking for a place that is budget conscious and still gives you access to equipment, this is it.
You may remember we had the CEO on Power Lunch just a month or two back. They're doing so well, they won't even let new franchisees expand. They're only offering it to their existing owners who know what to do and know how to do it well.
Well, and with this Black Card membership, really quickly, they raise the price. So that says consumers are willing to pay more for it. You get massage chairs. You can bring a guest every time. You get discounts with Reebok. I mean, it is similar to Amazon in that it's this bundled.
There was tanning when I was there.
Yeah, tanning. That's part of that, too.
Yeah, it was
the tannings.
Yeah.
Just look at Peloton, by the way. That's supposed to be the future of working out and fitness. Down another 3% today. Continues to trade well below its IPO price. Maybe the traditional gym model is actually what works, which is what Planet Fitness has.
Always go with what's not cool. That's my investment tip of the day.
Contrarian fitness and
Always
investing.
lean against cool. Finally, students in California can press the snooze button without being late to class. The governor signing a law, classic California. There's just statewide law. They're going to be the first state in the nation to mandate later start times at most public schools. Middle schools will now be required to begin classes no earlier than 8 a.m. High schools can't start before 8:30. The governor's saying it's an effort to give students more sleep. I will say, as much as I sort of don't understand, because when we were in school, this just wasn't a big topic of conversation, even though we all went early, I just acknowledge this is the day and age we live in. My town, school in town, they have these sleep-ins every week or two where kids they don't have first period. It's meant to help them catch up on sleep. So this is an approach probably makes more sense than that.
Can I just weigh in on this? I want to tackle this from a working parent's point of view. All right. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm trying to see as many perspectives as I can on this. But I need to be at work at a certain time to make money to provide for my family. I need to go in early sometimes. The later you push these things, the harder it is for a working family to then put their kid in a situation where they don't have to supervise them. And then remember that there was a school district in Colorado that said they were going to eliminate class on Fridays or Mondays or one of those days. And that has a huge impact on working families because what happens for childcare? You then have to take a day off or you can't work or anything else. Those things have real impacts.
Totally.
I do just wonder, though, because college has gotten so much more competitive, are these kids really overscheduled? Do they actually need to catch up on sleep? I mean, we had activities before and after school when I was in high school. I participated in all of them. I think it makes you well-rounded and teaches you about time management. But I don't know. I'm not a student these days. I have no idea what they're all doing. Maybe they are overworked,
I do wonder about rush hour. I mean, if it's 8:30 now, you're getting in as soon, you're getting
I don't
into
get to
that
work till
time.
9:30 or 10.
Yeah, that's incredibly
Tell my
hard.
bosses that right now. I'm not going to show up until like 10 o'clock maybe, and I got to be out by like 3 or 4.
Dom starts pushing for Connecticut to
For
adopt this.
high school kids, though, right? Most of them can likely
Drive.
take the bus or get to school themselves, just saying.
By the way, California just got really cool. Gavin Newsom now going after NCAA athletes, now saying students can go in later. I mean, he's really going after the younger audience in California.
The 14-year-olds are all going to move there in droves.
Oh,
and
yes,
that's...
and their parents in tow, right?
Guys, thank you all.